So dear friends, month of July, the month of rains, the month of greenery, but we are also scared of too much of rains that might cause damage. Already in Bangalore, we have seen scenes where people have been stranded. The waters cannot go out, the drains are choked, and sometimes perhaps even the house collapses, etc. take place. We give our support to these people and we pray to God that we may have good rains, a good rainy season, but at the same time not damaging anybody. Let me take you to the message of the week, the gospel of the day. It's a beautiful gospel that gives us certain situations in our life wherein God enters and enters very forcefully. As with the gospel, perhaps I can divide it into three parts. Gospel of Matthew chapter 11. The first part where Jesus praises, blesses and thanks God that He has trust in the little people, as it were, that He has revealed certain things to certain people, and this confidence that He has in us is surely a matter of thanksgiving. Secondly, Jesus also speaks about His relationship with the Father, an intimate relationship with the Father, a relationship of trust, of confidence, and therefore Jesus makes known about His relationship with the Father. And thirdly, Jesus' relationship with those that have the loved ones, as it were, the little ones, and having compassion on all of us. Let me first take to the first point, that Jesus blesses God, that He confides, or rather takes the children, the little ones, closer to Him. It's a beautiful way of saying that God has trust in the poor. God trusts that those who are humble and the meek. The humility and the meekness are considered as the Beatitudes. In the Gospel of Matthew chapter 5, we have this special Beatitudes that speak of the humility, the poverty and the meekness. It's something that the world would consider as weakness. To be poor is not considered to be something blessed, because everyone tries to become rich, everyone tries to gather and to collect things. But Jesus says, blessed are the poor. Blessed are the humble. Humble because, in your humility, you have nothing to boast. You have to open yourself and say that I am nothing. And that is why God resides in the heart of the humble, we say. He was Himself humble. In the last, His agony, when the soldiers treated Him like more than an animal as such, the way they stripped Him, perhaps it was the most humiliating moment for Him, but Jesus takes it in His stride. And we also speak of meekness. The quality of meekness is considered as weakness, because the meek, they don't assert themselves, they don't talk loud, they don't fight. Perhaps they are not even aware of what is their due. But the Beatitudes, Jesus says in the Beatitudes that perhaps they may not worry, they may not be, but God will be their protector. God will be the one who will lift them up. So therefore, today Jesus thanks God, blesses Him for these little people who are poor, who are humble, who are meek, so that for them are given the secrets of the kingdom of heaven. It's very true. It's very true that the world trusts these people. The world trusts them because they have nothing of their own to show off, nothing of their own to give off, and that is why the world trusts them very much. The second part of today's reading is Jesus' intimate relationship with the Father. We have heard Him say, the Father and I are one. One who knows me knows the Father. So therefore this intimacy between the Father and the Son, as it were, which is not just what we call vocal, but it comes from deep. That Jesus trusts his Father, that he calls him so many times. In the Gospel of Luke, we find Jesus very often going to those lonely places to pray. Was there a need of prayer? Should he have gone gone astray, gone alone to places like this? But we see that this is intimate relationship with the Father that necessitated for him to pray often. Even in his sufferings and the Garden of Gethsemane, when he says, Father, take away this chalice from me. It's a prayer that comes from the heart, from the bottom of the heart. Take this chalice away from me, but not my will. Your will be done. So this is the intimacy that Jesus has with the Father. The third part is, come to me all who labor, who are burdened, and I will refresh you. Take my yoke upon you, because I am humble and simple of heart. Beautiful words. This meekness, this weakness as it were, Jesus comes to our aid. And just as the relationship with the Father and the Son is so intimate, Jesus wants to establish that relationship with us. And therefore, those beautiful words, take upon yourself my burden, my yoke as it were. And so Jesus makes our yoke, our burden light, because he is the one ultimately who not only takes our burdens but also carries us. The example of the saints is very much enriching. How much they trusted God, and not just in their moments of joy but also in the moments of sorrow, to lay upon the Lord as it were, they unburden themselves at the feet of the Lord. We have that beautiful example, or rather recounting of St. Catherine. She was supposed to be close to Jesus in her prayer, and many a time she found consolation in her prayers. And so when she was also tempted and she was struggling with her own perhaps inner turmoils, she went to Jesus. And one particular day or night, she's supposed to have dreamt that she was in high turmoil, high temptations. And that is the time suddenly she sees footsteps in front of her, and she sees that at a certain distance there are two sets of footsteps. And then suddenly there is only one set of footsteps, and she concludes that Jesus did not help her or support her, come close to her when she was struggling. And so she complains to Jesus and says, see, it's very clear. You see these two sets of footsteps, and both of us are walking together, and after that it is only mine. And Jesus smiles at her in her dream and says, child, those two steps, of course, we both of us together. And the single steps is not yours, it's mine. And where were you that time? I was carrying you in your struggles, in your problems. And that's why she realizes that God doesn't abandon us. We can unburden ourselves before him. So my dear friends, I know that many of our people are troubled. Even when we have things and belongings and perhaps many luxuries or conveniences, we can still be lonely at heart. We can be heavy at heart. And that's the time perhaps we have to rely on the Lord and ask him to take our burdens, to unburden us. And he will be the happiest one if we trust him to take our burdens, so that we may be not only feel light, but also we can walk better and go a long way. I now take you to the July 8th in this week. We are starting what's called the Year of Learning. I have spoken in my last encounter with you that the year of the Jubilee 2025 necessitates a certain preparation on our part of 3 years. So 2023 is considered as the year of learning, 2024 is considered the year of praying, and the year 2025 is considered the year of pilgrimages or the year of hope. Every pilgrimage is walking towards hope, as it were. So this year we start this year of preparation, which we have already inaugurated on 29th of June. We start with our practical, what we call study circle as such, and year of learning begins with learning of the documents of the church. There are 4 important documents that we sort of consider as them pivotal for the church, most important, and therefore we start on 8th of July this particular sharing, which is called hybrid. That means there will be a classroom type of physical meeting. At the same time, those who would like to join from far away, they can join also online. We have chosen experts for every book. The first book will be Sacrosanctum Concilium, which means the sacred constitution of the liturgy, which will be taken up for 4 weeks every Saturday. 8th of July is Saturday. So from 4 to 6, with a small break in between, these classes or these sharings will be taken up by our experts. For the first one, as I inaugurate that day, you will be surprised to see and to watch Archbishop Emeritus Alphonsus Machado speaking. We have got a jewel among us. He is one of those 4 bishops in the world. Only 4 bishops are alive now. 4 bishops in the world who attended the council and also intervened at the Second Vatican Council in the 1960s. And we were fortunate to get a small interview, a bite from him, and how, even at this age of 95, 96, he is lively, he is vivacious, and he is vocal, as it were, of his participation, because he attended it. As I said, he was one of the 4 in the world, and the only one in Asia, the whole of Asia now, who has attended the Second Vatican Council. So in the introductory part, he will be explaining to us a little his experience of participating in the Vatican Councils, where these documents came out, the 4 documents that we are going to expose before you: the document on liturgy, the document on the Lumen Gentium, the light of the world, the document on the Dei Verbum, or the Word of God, and the document of the generations before us. That is a very important document. So my dear brothers, I request you to, those who have registered, perhaps you know what is going to come. Those who are not registered, there is still time for you to register, either for the physical or offline mode, or for the online mode also. It is possible for you to do this one. And those who are attending, make use of it. Participate in every session. It's going to be only on Saturday, so keep aside all your work, all your worries, all your this one, and concentrate yourself. Perhaps you can also be the faraway fathers of the church, participating in the councils sessions in the Second Vatican Council. On the 8th of July, Saturday, I've also mentioned that it's going to be a meeting, a whole day meeting of the secretaries of the parish pastoral councils and parish finance committees. As I said, they are our direct, as it were, contact persons with every parish. Every parish has got a parish council, a parish finance committee. The parish priest is the head of the parish council. There are the members, and therefore, in order for the functioning of the parishes, the parish councils have to function well. And the key persons in every parish council is the secretary, who passes the information, who gathers, who brings the people together. At the same time, he works in order to give explanations and inform the people of the different programs in the parish. So in order to sort of get the parish council secretaries into our confidence, we have invited them for a meeting. We have requested also the priests and the deans to attend, so that in every deanery, in every parish, this work can be continued. So those of you in your parishes, those of the parish council secretaries of the parish finance committee and also parish council, kindly are requested to attend. Please pass on the message to each one of them. The meeting will start on Saturday, 8th of July in the morning, and will be conducted till perhaps 4 o'clock with the members, with the different inputs from the experts. You have heard of the Manipur crisis, the Manipur issue. We had a meeting on Thursday on this issue, not only with our Catholics, with our Christians, with the members of our churches, with our priests, but also we called together what we call the whole church in Bangalore, the churches in Bangalore. which included not only the Catholics but also the Protestants, the CSI, the Lutherans, the other churches, the Pentecostal churches. All of them came together, at least the main ones. We had about 100 of them participating in this meeting. And the purpose of this meeting was how we can give our support and solidarity to the people who are displaced in Manipur. They are all over India now. Some of them also have landed in Bangalore. So the first thing we said that in Bangalore we have not unitedly have had a support program for them, perhaps what we call a peace rally or a prayer service. Of course, there are some, the CRI has done it, some churches have done it in small ways, but as a church that is united and bound together, we have not done it. And so the members suggested that on 15th of July, that is Saturday of the next week, we will be having this big rally of all the churches, of all the people, of all the pastors, priests together. I say all. I understand that all may not be able to come, but at least representatives from different churches. And I think we are going to get a big crowd that day, a crowd of not less than 5,000, because the Protestant churches, the denomination churches are also very much in it. And they say that we have to support together, because for us it doesn't matter whether they are Catholics or whether they are Protestants or the churches, that we are all profess the name of Christ. That's important. And our people in Manipur are in crisis. Let us stand by them, let us express our solidarity with them. And so this peace rally will be in the Freedom Park in Bangalore on 15th of July, Saturday at 10 o'clock. So this medium, I would like to invite all our priests, religious, our people, and also pass the message to the other churches that all come in a show of unity and solidarity for the people in crisis at Manipur. Processions are not possible, we have thought of it, because the government doesn't allow. So we will have to all meet in that place of Freedom Park at 10 o'clock. So try to come early. It's understood that it might be a rainy day, but rain or sunshine, we have to express our solidarity with them. And so perhaps come with the umbrellas, come with the essential things, water bottle or something like that, and raincoats if it is necessary, because we can expect it to be a rainy day. But through this we express our solidarity with them. Secondly, as more and more people are flowing into Bangalore, it's not easy for them to come. It's quite far away, but there are some Manipuris here in Bangalore, perhaps dear relatives, dear friends, who have told them, okay, we can do what perhaps a little that we can do. You are welcome here, and many people are entering Bangalore. As of now, about 350 people have already registered with us seeking help and support. For example, a little shelter for the families, the schools and hostels for children, the youth. And so in this way we are trying to sort of bring them together and help them. Fortunately, many of our religious schools and hostels are open to them, and many have already admitted themselves, though there are so many problems. One of the problems is they don't have certificates, because all their certificates were burnt when their houses, about 3,000 houses were burnt. So therefore we can imagine. But then we tell them that there is something we can do. We will try to solve your problems. Please trust us, and you are our welcome guests. You are not just coming because you are helpless, but consider it that you are our honorable guests in the Archdiocese of Bangalore. And I spoke also to our Protestant churches and the other denominations, and their response also was overwhelming. Many of them have said that they can also come to our schools, our institutions. We have also some hostels. Perhaps we have some places where we can put them together and do. More than anything else, we need money. We need monetary support in order to support these people from different ways, different places. And many a time it does happen that they cannot come from, I would say, Guwahati or Mizoram here. They have no money. So therefore we are even providing them means of transport, as it was, especially by train, to come and get into it. So we are sending them also some money to buy their tickets to come to our place. Those who would like to come, we are not forcing anybody to come, but they find Bangalore quite attractive because especially of education, the higher education, the work potential. So that's why they would like to come, and we have extended our arms, our hearts, whatever we can do for them so that they are happy. We say that, perhaps we are better off. We don't have these crisis moments for us. But who can say? Someday we also may have to seek support and shelter from others when we are in crisis. God has blessed us so far. But if it does come in the future, surely God will remember us kindly for the good deeds that we have done. And therefore I request you to help and support us. First of all, come for the rally. And secondly, give us the support that you can give in some way or other, perhaps some uniforms, some books, some food that can be given, if you can tell us. And more than anything else, the monetary help also. You will see this placard there, which gives the details of where you can send your money. I now come to perhaps a moment of melancholy, of silence, at the death of one of our priests who died and was buried last week. Last Tuesday we buried him. He died on Monday. His name was Father Joachim Santan de Costa. In fact, in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we have lost two big stalwarts of our Archdiocese. Earlier it was Father Stani Vegas, who died about, 20 days ago. And now it is Father Joachim Santan da Costa. He was born on 26th of July, as you know, the feast of Joachim and Anne. Joachim, his was first name. Santan or Saint Anne, in Konkani it is Saint Anne, was his other name, and da Costa his family name, which means he was almost 90 years old, 91 years old when he died, but a gentleman to the core. He was a very gentle priest, always smiling. On the day of his death, when I announced to the people, there was a lady from Bangalore who sent me a small message to say that I'm so sad that Father Santan died. I was a small girl when he was the parish priest in Davangere, and with what joy we ran into his arms, as it were. And he was always so vivacious that he would give us sweets, he would make us play, he would play with us. And he was a man that I loved so much as a priest, that today if I am in the church and if I love the church, I remember this priest because he represents to me the priest of the diocese. I can understand all are not the same ones, all are not so attractive, all are not perhaps so presentable, but then she says that I got my impression of the church from this priest, Father Santan de Costa. So therefore, we are grateful to God for his presence in our Archdiocese. He served in so many places, small places, big places, city parishes. Though he was more comfortable with village parishes, he was one with the people. He was also in the Archdiocese spiritual director of the minor seminarians when we had the minor seminary in Mysore. He was also the procurator or the finance officer of the diocese. And I see in the letters that he was to the point, as it were, every account that he had to give, he had to finish it before he went to sleep. He had to collect the balance, he had to calculate the balance, and he was so much, as it were, outgoing to the people that came to him that he found time and also money for the poor. He was a big support to all the archbishops, for he himself was ordained by the first Archbishop Thomas Pottukumari. As you can imagine, every other bishop, he had a great regard for him, and he almost, when he went for the time of transfers, he asked the bishops for such places that no one else would go. That was his humility and simplicity. God bless him. May God grant him eternal rest.
The shepherd's voice, which is being presented by our beloved Archbishop, Most Reverend Dr. Peter Machado, the Archbishop of Bangalore, who takes so much of interest and concern in order to bring the various topics, the contextual aspects in order to inform, educate, and catechize all of us, the priests, the religious, and faithful of this vast archdiocese. And I'm sure you are enjoying this program, Shepherd's Voice, and I request each one of you to share with your other colleagues, friends, and family and relatives, near and dear ones, so that everyone in this archdiocese can be more closer to listen to the Archbishop on this Shepherd's Voice, the weekly feature. My dear friends, as I've always told, that this is a wonderful platform wherein we can connect to the shepherd of this archdiocese, wherein he brings in the interesting topics in order to increase our devotion and love towards God, and also to know the spiritual matters that concerns our faith. In a very special way, you are most welcome to ask your questions, queries, and you can send them to us at archdblr@gmail.com, and you will also see our mobile number in and through which you can connect with our media center, Ave Studios, and the Archdiocesan Communication Center. Please do write to us your feedback, your opinions. Thank you. Continue to watch and continue to share with others.